What is the most what is the highest value token ever reached on Pump Fun? Just for some
Probably Fart Coin, I would think.
Oh, yeah, with a serious face. I love Jack with a
Jack,
that
what
was a
would you say was the
financial
most
analyst
liquid
face.
instrument ever created on this Pump Fun
I,
financial platform?
I think
Well, based on last 12 months, probably Fart Coin.
I think that's accurate. I can double check that. We can fact check.
Hot air
Okay.
rises.
Okay, so how is Zoran like Pump.Fun? Like, is this? Am I completely missing the similarities here?
Welcome to another episode of Night Investment Advice. You got Jack Butcher, Trung Phan, Bilal Zaidi. What's going on, lads? Another banger episode for you guys. Lots going on. Edge of the internet vibes today. Jack, let's start here, mate. Yeezy Coin launched. Was it a scam? Was it not a scam?
Let's start here, mate.
And in the same vein, definitely not exactly the same. I don't want to compare them exactly, but Balaji Coin, obviously friend of the pod, Balaji. This is on Zora, I think, which I know. Is it on Zora, the Balaji Coin?
Balaji Coin, yeah.
Okay. But I'll start right here.
What is Balaji Coin? Can you explain? I mean, what is Zora?
Let's explain that while we're pulling this up, Jack. But this was a phenomenal tweet that Jack shared with us. This is Brian Armstrong. Can you guys see this all right? So Trader Main, which is also a great handle. Coinbase CEO posting a sub 5 billion market cap shitter. What a part of the cycle is this? And this is Brian Armstrong tweet, August 23rd. Trade successful. You've got 4.5 million coins of Balaji Coin for $150. And then Brian
that's how much he saved. That's
how much he saved.
Trade.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, you're right. Good flag on that one.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. So Brian Armstrong responded, have you met Balaji? Owning a piece of his content creativity isn't a shitter. If you're into other coins, feel free to trade whatever you like, though. This is just an example, each to their own. And some in the replies there as well. But yeah, this feels a little bit familiar, doesn't it? I mean, this is something.
What is going on? What is Zoran? Explain to listener/me.
Also, Jack, we should also explain right now one of the top 5 coins on Zora is also visualized value. Yeah?
Disclaimer.
For context.
Okay. So Zora has been, I think, originally came out as a marketplace. Not even a marketplace, actually, more of like a place to launch NFTs. So both of the big visualized value projects were launched on there as open editions, checks and Opepen. They both minted on Zora initially. And Zora is this platform a year ago where the idea is, the typical use case is like, here's an image or a set of images that I'm selling as digital art, and this gives me the infrastructure to make a page, set up the conditions, and then send the link out and people can collect the stuff. And they have been doing this series of pivots over the last year or so, and now they're at this spot where they're kind of going in more of this consumer social direction with crypto rails underneath. So the profile, there is this thing what's called a creator coin, which is like a profile level fungible token that is tied to your Zora profile. And then every image you post or every piece of media you post is another billion supply fungible token. So you guys familiar with how Pump Fun works? You know that the concept of that? It's like a launch pad.
Yeah. You basically people creating coins.
So then you choose a ticker. You choose you literally choose a ticker and an image, and then you press a button, and then there's a tradable token, right?
What is what is the highest value token ever reached on Pump Fun? Just for some.
Probably Fart Coin, I would think.
Oh. Yeah, with a serious face. I love Jack with a
Jack,
that
what
was
would
a
you say was the most
analyst
liquid
face.
instrument ever created on this Pump Fun financial platform?
I think.
Well, based on last 12 months, probably Fart Coin.
I think that's accurate. I can double check that. We can fact check
Hot air
that.
rises.
Okay, so how
which
is
probably
Zoran like Pump.Fun? Is this? Am I completely missing the similarities here?
So I'm saying there is a semantic difference in that the Pump Fun, sort of the unspoken rule of Pump Fun, is you never create a second token. right?
Never
Like
go
if
full
one
retard.
person, exactly. The idea that the liquidity from the first token is then gonna hop to the second token is like the cardinal sin of shit coinery, right? But the Zora idea, the Zora platform is like take that to its absolute logical extreme, tokenize literally everything, right? And I've listened to a couple interviews and I've spoken to Jacob, one of the co-founders of Zora, a few times, and he quoted, I think it was one of the Solana co-founders is like most content is worth near zero, but not zero. And this is like the intellectual exercise in my mind is like price discovery for content. So how do you have like the most rapid and accurate price discovery for content? You make it liquid, and they have a very complicated and sophisticated like liquidity operation with Uniswap, and these things are way more liquid than your typical like one-off token launches. So the main criticism of it is like there are really sophisticated speculators and bots and trading firms that can essentially front run quote unquote retail or fans or people who are more genuinely engaged with the content. And then the charts generally all look the same, right? Like the thing launches, this person or profile or object has some notoriety, they get attention, the market cap of the thing increases, the speculators take profit, and then the people who believe in the thing are generally left holding the bag, right? That's the like
a pump and dump most of the time.
For the vast majority, yeah. So, but like as a so they've been coming under fire recently in the last few weeks for a bunch of different things. The first one being this like permissionless profile launch, which happened to me. So I've used Zora for years. I've like gone on there and made projects and like been very intentional about, oh, I'm going to launch this thing. This is how I want people to interact with it. And I log on there the other day to take a screenshot of something. My phone opened the app. I had no idea anything happened. Put my phone down, opened my computer, and it was like I got a notification like people are buying and selling Visualize Value Coin. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't press any button to make that happen. But it's apparently was down to the fact that I had an old version of the app on my phone. Something's since been patched, but it launched a coin on my behalf without my permission, right? And that's happened.
Are you okay with that or unhappy with that?
Yeah, initially I was very frustrated with it because it's something that like I want to do extremely intentionally. I have since written about it and like come up with a like retroactive idea that I think is interesting that layers on top of it. I can talk about that another time or when we have more time. But actually, let me give a 90-second thing on it now. So I wrote this piece. You can find it on my Twitter, or hopefully we'll put a link in the video description as well. But it launched. I was kind of, what do I do with this? I don't know. Like, got the message out there immediately. That's like, this was not a conscious decision by me. So, do with that information as you will. And I since sort of converted it into this idea, called it the lemonade stand. And it's based off this idea, A, of like liquidity in these markets. B, like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, try and turn it into something interesting there. But I also think there's this like really interesting comparison between like the most juvenile, permissionless form of capitalism, which is the lemonade stand you open when you're 7 years old, and crypto and where all these things are headed. So I think there's some interesting commentary and a project to be built around
juvenile,
that idea.
Not in the sense of immature, but when you do it when you're young.
Yes,
and it's
yes,
not,
yes.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, it's early.
Yeah. And I think it's like there's the idea for me is like, I'm not thinking about that as a profile to endlessly launch tokens. I'm thinking about it as a project that has a very specific constraint, right? Like here is a way to wrap a rationale around this very specific constraint and these instruments versus like another version of Instagram for me, which is not going to be. But anyway, it's a much longer conversation to talk about how that'll work. But the same thing, so this Balaji coin that we referenced in the beginning, I think he did it on purpose. You know,
So,
like
that's what I was going to ask.
coin.
He actually activated himself. It seems to be the
Yeah.
case.
And this like ecosystem, we talked about Farcaster and these like crypto native social platforms. This was incubated there, and for probably 2 or 3 months was very like under the radar in terms of the broader crypto audience. And someone like Balaji obviously has a massive platform, an incredible reputation, and started using it as it was intended, posting media on there, went under the radar for a long time. And then
posting media where? On
Zora, yeah. Let me pull it
Zora.
up.
Yeah, let me see.
Zora. So it's like
And is this connected to Coinbase at all? Like, is it using Base? Is it using, what is it built on top of?
yeah, it runs on Base.
Okay.
Runs on Base, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Coinbase Ventures is an investor in Zora. So I think there's more than one connection there. So it's like a social profile, right? Like the interesting thing about this too, though, is like a lot of this media is like, there's a lot of questions around this in general. It's like, what do you own when you buy this thing, right? It's just literally a speculative token on top of somebody's reputation. It's not necessarily the media itself, because a lot of these, for example, are book covers of like other people's work and ideas.
This is a great book, by the way. So what? So that book cover, this single post has a market cap
of $900. Yeah.
Wait. So explain. This is so a single post can have what is the most valuable post on his profile?
On his profile, what's this? 83,061, 115.
What's a $115,000 one? Like, so that
this one has $336,000 market cap. This one.
So what,
you know
what
that
is
me?
This?
All your base belong to us. This is some like famous old gaming meme.
Do you guys remember, Jack? What was the name of the original one that we probably talked about in the first 3 episodes before BitClout, right? Remember? So that this is not exactly the same thing, but this idea of create coins or speculating on or putting some sort of
new
crypto rails around social post is not new. But this is the latest iteration.
These are way more liquid, right? They're like on Ethereum L2, like BitClout. I don't even remember what that was running on, but it was like slow, you know.
Yeah, quite buggy.
Hours to deposit and withdraw, and these are like.
I think you couldn't even withdraw at a certain point. There was like a weird thing with that, which was also weird. But anyway, so just to zoom out, this is Balaji's version on Zora. I didn't want to combine that with Yeezy Coin because the Yeezy Coin may have been him hacked, where he says he was hacked apparently. But that chart looks very much like it goes up for a minute and everything dumps. Very different to Balaji, who's crypto native, who's was CTO of Coinbase, had something before called Earn as well. So he's in the game with this stuff. He's not someone who's trying to just.
And I think he's been sort of like vocally supportive of these ideas for ages too.
Definitely,
Balaji, right? Like this.
Yeah,
is
it's in his book even.
He was big.
Exactly.
He was like one of the main guys with BitClout, like early, like the most notable people, right?
Yeah. Shout out, Aaron Alto, friend of mine, did this book cover.
Oh yeah, Aaron. Yeah,
you met him. Yeah, and
good dude.
And so that's his first post on here. So this has a market cap of what, 222, and there's some like tokenomics in this where the trading of the posts drives some value to the creator coin, which drives some value to Zora coin, which is like this platform level token, which is what pays out rewards to like 1% of fees get paid out to Balaji or whoever else in Zora tokens. So there's this like flywheel, this loop of incentives to like keep making stuff and produce content for it. So the whole controversy we're talking about is that Brian Armstrong tweeted out that he bought 5 million tokens of this coin, which again, like there are these like established norms for people where like if you have an audience of hundreds of thousands of people and you post about something that has a market cap of even like 10 million bucks.
Yeah, what's the rule of thumb,
like
Jack? Is below 50 million or something? What's the number?
I believe it was 50 million, like back from the like Solana, you know, like the absolute.
Yeah, everything was,
you know, the carnage when everything was going ape.
Yeah.
That was the rule of thumb, right? It's like people were like waiting for that as a milestone for people with bigger audiences to like quote unquote endorse these things or talk about them, because your effect on the price action of it is like
significant,
ridiculous at that level, you know?
Yeah.
So again, I do think that we're at like a point in time where this stuff is getting more normalized, right? The nuance around it is changing. They're just taking it to the absolute extreme where it's like, why do one meme coin and then try and like create attention to return to that constantly? It's like every piece of media has this instrument attached to it, which has this price discovery mechanism. Yeah. So how that differs from, I mean, also in the Zora model, the creator owns 50% of the supply, but it vests linearly over 5 years. So where that's different from like Pump.Fun is like you see these charts where like the standard commentary is the dev rugged, right? Which means as soon as this thing bonds and as soon as there's liquidity, the person who holds the maximum amount of supply just dumps it on the open market. And that's what happened in the Yeezy scenario.
Okay, so let's talk about Yeezy.
Yeah. And I don't know the perfect turn of events here, but like generally speaking, there was an announcement, I think it was like last Thursday or something. There was a tweet that came from this new account, and there'd been like these whispers for a while that there's some Yeezy token coming, and then they tweeted out like a subdomain on Yeezy.com, which is, you know, largely viewed as a signal of legitimacy, where it's like, oh, if they have access to the root domain, this is not something that could be like manipulated from the outside without ridiculous amount of manipulation and involvement and all of these things. And the website is still up on Yeezy.com. So I think that even contradicts like some of the language that's come from the.
Since then, is it that Kanye has said his account was hacked or something? I've only seen headlines.
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cool.
All I know is that like there was some video recorded with him, and it was
which is also nowadays
live now.
No, but also nowadays, like you're like, is this AI? Is it not? You know, that's the level we're at now.
That's a great call, Bilal. The AI angle. It's like,
and also as an excuse, honestly, I'm not saying they have said that, but in the future, lots of people would say, "Oh no, that not only was I hacked, but that was a deep fake of me or something like that." Which obviously, right now, we could still probably tell if it's AI or not, but you know, pretty soon that won't be the case. So what we got?
So this was their first tweet. It's like token is live. There's a screenshot here with the contract address, and then
also it's in the iMessage format, which is very Kanye. Like he would often post screenshots of his messages.
Yeah, and then there's a video same day of like 4-second video of him saying, I think like the Yeezy Coin is live.
Dude, that looks like AI, man. Like that is so sketchy.
Yeah, it's like 5 frames. It's hard to tell from without.
And then there's like integration across the site. So if you go to Yeezy.com and try and check out or buy anything, there's like modules in the payment flow that suggest that this is going to be like an accepted form of payment at some point.
Wait. And if that was actually on the site, I know we're just looking at a screenshot, but that's...
No, it is. I'll show you now. Look,
money.yeezy.com. What?
And then if you go to Yeezy.com and go to a product...
Is this their official site, or did they spell it like that? Yeah, there's no... This is crazy. If that's the case.
And then it says, look.
Oh,
Yeezy crypto coming
soon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like how can you... Like the level of legitimacy does not really go beyond this in any other...
Yeah, no. 100. If I was seeing that, I'd think that's... Yeah, no, wait. Yeezy.com. I'm just double checking the actual domain. Is it definitely Yeezy.com? It's not like a weird spelling of Yeezy or something.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Yeezy.com.
Dude, this
and that,
whole
like, if you go on,
no wonder it was sketched out, man. You guys even just showing me, I'm like, yo, I wouldn't trust any of this.
this is his website though. So there's really no like debate that it was attached to the
main domain, yeah.
But the debate becomes like who convinced him to do it.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously not sitting there doing it himself. So there's like some like group of people.
He's vibe coding his website.
Exactly.
Jack, what are you talking about? Yeah.
I
So
read some speculation that it was the same people involved, and I don't know. I've not confirmed whether this is true or not. But like structurally, it seems like the same thing, even if it wasn't the same people, right? Where there's a team of people of Libra that the Javier Malay.
Was that not the Max Extract guy, or was that someone else?
Exactly, yeah.
The same
TBH
guy,
lads,
okay.
we're trying
Dude,
to Max
how
Extract.
are these
on
guys
this
still
moment,
running around dropping these ideas?
Well, here's the other thing: is that day, the same day it launched, like literally 6 hours before, there was a court order that unfroze the $60 million that those guys made off the Libra launch. Literally the same day.
So they got the money back.
That day.
What?
And then the theory is like they like funded the liquidity pool of Yeezy with that same money. I need to confirm that, but I've seen like
that's
the
rumors.
Beginning of the thread that like says they're gonna prove it. So again, not that it matters really in covering what happened. To explain what happened, I just don't know who was responsible for it. But the same idea, right? Is like 5 wallets made $20 million each, and then the other 100,000 wallets that participated lost the equivalent across every single. So it launched, I think, at like $3 billion market cap, and this is 6 days ago, and then it's now at 70 million, I think.
Do you know what that sounds like, Jack? It sounds a bit like Max Extract to me, mate. That sounds consistent with the past.
Just insane, right? And like and even in like 6 months ago, you would have been like, this is the future. This is like, this is an unbelievable example of like permissionless finance, and you can make a token that has like value that is married up to your brand, and to think that this is like a $70 million token with inclusion on Yeezy.com, attachment to one of the most recognizable people on the planet, is like surreal. Yeah, but I think it's the circulation of how it was launched, and like had this been done differently, it may have had a different result, right? It just seems like these things are consistently launched by these very manipulative and like opportunistic internal teams, which lock up a shitload of the supply and then create one massive explosion of activity and extract as much as they can and then move on. And like, I bet you Kanye West never talks about this again. It just eventually it'll be. It's still on the website today. It's insane.
Yeah, that's why I didn't realize it was literally on the integrated in the cart. And also, like I said, when I search Yeezy in Google, the one thing I'll quickly share, just to check, is that I'm assuming that's the website Yeezy.com. But look at this. 1 second. Can you see like this little? I forgot what it's called. The little icon versus goat.com. You know how it normally shows Wikipedia. That one's like missing right now. And that's not a big deal that much, but it is a little bit weird. Like normally that's something, if that's an established website, you have that favicon or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway,
so he's saying like the whole stack is compromised, basically.
I mean, yeah.
Well, who here used to run an empire of clothing? Which of us three?
Well, I think there you go. Jack Butcher with his visualized value merch. There you go. Yeah. So.
No, the Bing, the
bling king. Yeah, well, we both had a couple. We had a couple there, but yeah, definitely before you could do stuff like this. Probably for the best.
Yeah.
That's
Can you imagine
mental.
if you're doing bling bling in this era, Bilal?
Oh my god! Can you
The
imagine the
random
memes?
crypto things you would
Oh
be
boy, that
involved
would
in?
be fun. That would be fun. But anyway, no. Anyway, I do want to just reiterate what I said earlier. I definitely want to make sure we're not combining Balaji Coin, Yeezy Coin. It was just in the same category. They're obviously two very different things with different intent.
Crypto news.
Crypto news.
Yeah,
There you
crypto
go. Edge
news.
of the internet roundup. There you go. Brian Armstrong posting a $5 million share. That is phenomenal. Either way, you got to get that on the pod. Anything else on that before we move on to next topic, lads?
Ready to rock and roll.
Jack, any thoughts?
No, let's go. Yeah.
Since we're talking about Balaji, let's quickly just knock off the next one we had with him. This was a tweet as well, but we're going to share the Farcaster post here. This is something we've referenced in our group chats, and I wanted to get your take on it. So Balaji.eth on Farcaster, he talked about of the top 10 assets. He's got a screenshot of the top 10 assets in the world. I'm just going to quickly read them out so people who are listening know what the vibe is. Gold, number one asset in the world, almost $23 trillion asset class. Nvidia, 4.4 trillion. Microsoft, 3.87. Apple, I don't need to say every single number, but Apple is
Bitcoin.
and then Bitcoin is 2.45 trillion, right? That's just above Alphabet, Amazon, Silver at 8, Meta, Saudi Aramco. So you get the idea. It's mostly tech companies from the US and a couple commodities, gold and silver, and then Bitcoin is in there, which you might call digital gold. So he says of the top 10 assets, his language here is specific. He says 6 digital companies. He doesn't say, this was my point on it, was he says 6 digital companies, not US companies. 1 digital currency, 3 physical commodities. So the 20th century American economy is nowhere to be seen. It's been deprecated in favor of the virtual 21st century and the physical 19th, the future and the past together against the present. There's a lot in that, right? So,
Man, he hates the 20th century.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
No.
I mean, and I want to be specific. He says, because I missed it the first time I read it, because I was skimming it. He says the 20th century American economy, which is, is
And
nowhere
then
to be
people
seen.
were
That
coming
means
back and
1900s.
saying, well, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon were all founded in the 20th century. But I think the point he's
that's
making
true,
is like,
yeah.
what actually, well, again, Saudi Aramco is an oil company. I don't actually know what the full point that's being made there. Digital is probably the more one. It's like, it's digital.
Yeah,
I think he's
that's
saying
a good-
gold, silver, oil, which
Yeah.
were very much 19th century, and then obviously for gold and silver for thousands of years prior, were the underpinnings of the monetary system. And then digital, like what? Well, here it comes. What were the 20th century industries? Right, like you guess you say finance, Hollywood, automotives, yeah. That's probably what he's getting
Manufacturing
at.
as well, right?
Mainframe
Manufacturing.
computers, IBM.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Tesla's market cap?
I believe it's about 700 bill.
Not far. Yeah, if you
Yeah, what's
expanded
it-
this
It's
to
It's actually
20,
back to
they're
1
probably
trill,
in there.
yeah. It would have been there,
Yeah. I wouldn't. It's knocking on the door of the top 10, isn't it? Or is
Yeah.
that a big? Is that a?
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that a
I guess it
deep
depends.
Field underneath that.
No,
There's a pretty big
wouldn't
drop
be too
off
far.
actually because of Meta. Meta made such big moves.
Oh yeah.
But
This
anyways, what do you guys think? That's just a giga brain take for me. I get the thrust of it.
Yeah. No, I
he
think the
seems
way you
correct.
described it there, Trung, is a good summary of you got gold, silver, oil. That's the underpinnings of the last 100 years, essentially, before the gold standard was scrapped. And now you've got these digital companies, and he's calling them digital companies. I would specify, if I was trying to make a different point, they're US, they are American companies. Because the whole essence of the tweet is almost like putting the American economy down, because it says the 20th century American economy nowhere to be seen. But
You're right,
the
because
20
it's the idea. Yeah.
well, you could say, well, actually, you could another tweet could say the 21st century American economy is dominating the top 10, including Bitcoin in a way that was invented by Americans, it seems. So it's I know that's a global thing, but I get the point is it's almost like his general ideas in Network State. A lot of it is about Asia rising, global, and the
internet as its own space, right?
Yeah, cloud versus dirt or whatever he uses the phrase. But anyway, Jack, did you have any, because you shared this in our group chat, any thoughts on that? Because you might have actually had a slightly different take on it.
I guess what I take from it is like, just look at the top, the number 1 and number 10 is like the store of value, the most historic and reliable, not even necessarily reliable, but consensus store of value is gold. And then energy, Saudi Aramco, I just looked this up, how much of the entire oil and energy industry does Saudi Aramco represent? And I think just in public markets, it's like 25-30%. So
Jeez,
I think that's like a really interesting indicator of, maybe it's a dumb point to make, but how much that everything else depends on the raw production of energy. And then all these technology companies are just examples of like what has infinite leverage, Nvidia, Apple, and the companies that run on attention. I think even, Meta being in there. I know it feels like he is like making that barbell point, I suppose, of like, what are like these real physical truths, which are we need the production of energy and we need like some consensus mechanism to store value. And all these technology companies just have such a ridiculous amount of leverage compared to any other business. It's very obvious why they just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. Then you have something like Nvidia, which is kind of like this hybrid of the two, right? It has the technical leverage, but it's also like powering all these companies.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you said, it's actually not that surprising, but it does maybe just puts like this interesting filter over like maybe even the skepticism of how dominant these like technology companies can continue to be. Feels like he would describe it as like first innings, right? Like really early on in
early
the dominance of these technology companies. And a lot of like more traditional investors would look at that and be like, we're topping out and Ford needs to go back up to the top of the list. It's like, ain't happening.
Ford needs to go to the back. We need somebody get Ford back on the top of the list.
Yeah. Like the PE ratio of, a factory that's producing objects versus like even Tesla. I don't know what their margins are on the cars, but the software has got to be like an obscene amount of their business,
the margin,
right? And Ford you're not going to be able to start selling like 10 grand a year software subscription for Fords, I wouldn't think. And just think there's actually a crossover thing here. I haven't listened to this yet, but there's an interview with Brian Armstrong where he talks about Balaji and his like management style and his like the way he
I
thinks.
saw that. That was good.
Oh, you watched it?
I saw that clip. I saw the clip of him.
Yeah, the clip was good, and
it was with
that,
the Stripe founder, right? That one.
Oh, was it? Okay, I'm gonna pull
Is that the
up.
one in Tomato?
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry,
on their
Collison.
Yeah, he's having a pint
John
of Guinness,
Collison's
I think.
podcast.
Yeah. But sorry, Jack, go for it. Yeah, he's talking about Balaji working with him at Coinbase for a bit. And it was a little bit
so I think
difficult
a lot of
for
these
some
things
people
are like,
working with him, but how he was a gigabrain, basically.
You see in the future. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was literally looking up our episodes from our first ever episode 0, the first episode. We had a whole Balaji segment, so we've been very consistent in this pod, mate. We're 4 and a bit years in. Same shit happening, which is very crazy.
Well, you sound by and to your point, this is probably good for the OG listeners. BitCult was like the first month of
that's what I was saying. I mean, that's what it's recycled ideas, but also some evolution. But I will say from that screenshot, the top 10. Let me just pull it up again, just to get your. Let's do the Occam's razor version of this. When you see it, what comes to mind when you see that screenshot? What? Just you could say there's no investment advice here, but what do you feel or think when you see this chart here, lads? What stands out to you?
There is no second best.
There is no second best. Well, no, go on, Trung. You might have a different.
No, the gold Bitcoin. When is that gonna? When is that gonna collapse, boys? When is that delta gonna collapse?
That's what again. Definitely no investment advice. But when you look at this, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, okay, all digital. Silver's
Are we
still
saying that Bitcoin is 10x from here? We are not saying that.
Over a long enough time horizon, that's how I feel about it. But
All right, but guys, hold on here. Let's talk. Okay, let's transition this because I know we got a hard stop. Let's talk about the Soho house.
yeah,
The
we go.
only
Yeah,
I've never been to a
talking
Soho
of gold.
house. I know. Yeah, speaking of gold, great transition. Bilal's go-to move.
There
Bilal,
we go.
you've obviously been a Soho house.
Yep. And
Are
so
you a member?
I'm not. I've thought about it many times when I work from home.
Okay,
but
let's talk about this. Tell us more.
Well, they're
What-
also they're originally from London. I'm pretty sure, right? The one in London
The
originally
Soho,
was
yeah.
great when it first. To me, it's very 2010s. Jack, I'd love your take because I think you're still a member there, right? I definitely go there a decent amount. I've been
How
there
often?
with Jack actually.
How often
Yeah,
have you
once
been?
a month or every 2 months, someone invites me to go. Just for like a meeting or
So
lunch or
what does
something.
Soho House look like? What is the vibe?
Jack, you share your version of it because you actually go there all the
Well,
time.
it's sort of like it's supposed to be like part private club, part restaurant, part like place to take meetings. They actually just recently, I don't know if this is everywhere, but they like really cracked down on the laptop use. So like before you would go in there, it's like WeWork. People just go there, order 1 cup of coffee and work all day. No phone. You can't take phone calls in there, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it's supposed to be like, I think the idea is like extrapolated from this like country club private members thing, but originally it was like there's a pretty gate kept application process where you need 2 referrals from other people. It was supposed to be, I think when it started, it's like very high bar,
Creative industries.
you're a
originally.
musician or film director or fashion, like involved in some hard to reach position, and it's like laxed over time, and obviously they went public, and then it's like the whole thing goes out the window with that, right? It's like if you've got the readies, we'll accept you.
How much?
And
How much is it?
I think it's like $1,500 a quarter or something. It's not insane.
1,500
it's
bucks. $400 a month. $500 a month.
I think so.
I also
yeah,
think it
something
depends
around
how
that.
many
And there's
locations
like a
you get. Yes, a young
you can
person's
do
one.
like the older clubs or the local one. There's like an under 27s rate. I think it's like, put it in perspective. I paid, I think, like $1,200 a month for a literal 9 square foot office in WeWork in downtown Manhattan. Like literally a
okay.
door
Yeah.
and a chair. And it was, if you're not like, if you're working by yourself or you like need a place to take meetings and stuff, it's pretty reasonable to have. They have a swimming pool, good gym. Like you can use it for a lot of different stuff too.
So if you
And
don't
the
do
other-
gym, right? Gym's like 250 at Equinox.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
250, 300.
Yeah. It's like it wouldn't quite get to that level, but it's decent. And then also the rates for the rooms are really reasonable in other cities if you're a member. So like it's
hotel room.
like it's a solid hotel, and if you're a member, you're getting that like cheaper than a Marriott, and it's a much nicer
is
hotel.
every Soho house a hotel also?
I believe so. Oh, the
think
vast
they've got-
majority. I think
I
some
think
of the
they've-
New York ones maybe not.
Okay.
The Dumbo one is right, Bilal, and then like the
think so.
Manhattan ones I don't think are, but almost all the others have
We're
hotels.
bearing the lead here. The reason we're talking about Soho House is because a private equity company and the second largest hotel manager in America is taking it private. And
MCR
frankly,
hotels.
Yeah, it never should have gone public in the first place, right? Because Jack had alluded. So let me just lay out the financial situation. I'd like you guys
Tron,
to take on
I'm just
it.
going to do a 10 sec. I want you to break
Yeah,
it down.
hit
But
it.
Soho House is going private for $2.7 billion deal led
Yeah.
by MCR Hotels. Aston Kutcher will also join the board to help guide its next phase. So that's I just want that summary. So, but you go for the breakdown, the numbers.
Well, yeah,
then.
all I was going to say was the only breakdown I had was it went public. It was one of these companies that went public. We talked about SPACs last week. I'm pretty sure it's SPACed. Did it go public in a SPAC? Soho House SPAC. Okay, actually did it go, oh no, IPO'd. But 2021 was anyone was trying to get into the funny money,
Liquidity.
the stimmies, right? So like, so it went public and it went public. But Jack had and Bilal, you guys had already alluded to the problem with this kind of company going public. When it has the pressures of growth, right? It's the same idea with luxury brands, right? It's like when you have the pressure to meet demand, there's very few that can pull it off. We've talked about Hermes and Ferrari here, of course. You know, Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari, as he said, always make one less car than the demand. So the problem with Soho House, and Jack, tell us, or Bilal, from your experience, have you guys noticed a quote unquote lax of the membership
it's
types?
definitely watered
Let
down
me draw
over
a
time, right?
comparison.
Go on.
I think a good comparison is like the airport lounge.
Oh yeah, which we covered
talked-
fairly recently too.
Too
exactly
many-
that.
It's the same phenomenon.
Okay.
It started
Too many
off
people
actually
spending $1,000
exclusive.
a year
Yeah.
on a platinum Amex.
Jack hates
Queuing up
credit
some
cards.
dry
It's so
chicken.
funny. For price.
Terrible.
I will just for the record. I will say after me and Trung was shitting on the lounges for that one episode. The last flight I just took, I went to Sapphire Lounge in LaGuardia, and it was actually really good. It was really good. It was like actually good food, and you sit there.
Dude, I don't
they-
shit on the
they made it
lounge.
fresh.
Is taking the
Amex level.
in the shine, isn't it?
Yeah, because they've increased the price. But anyway, there's not many times where I was like, actually that was good, and I went there. I was like, actually this was a good. It kind of works. I'm like, do I keep the card now or not? But it was actually good, fresh,
for the
fresh
record, I wasn't shitting
barista
on the
made
lounge.
coffee, very good.
I'm saying
I
it's
was a
getting
little
busy.
bit.
And the food is typically you get a
Yeah,
nice
it's normally
little
like
buffet
buffet
at a
style,
lounge.
and you get like some cold eggs that's been sitting there for
Bro.
7 hours. I'm not about
The
that.
Amex one is not good anymore, boys. I tell you
Okay.
that. Like with
Yeah.
like first person research,
Okay.
it is not good. Every single airport I've gone to in the last like maybe 2 years is like you're queuing up to get in, and
Yeah, that alone
I think
is already.
this is a well
that's already
documented
too much.
phenomena. It's like
Yeah.
and I think airports are generally getting better on like putting good like
You just hit
stuff in
Shake
the
Shack.
terminal itself.
Shake Shack will
Exactly.
do the job. Yeah, any
Chick-fil-A,
time of
mate.
the day. There you go. But no, just really quickly, because we got about 10 minutes here. Is there, I guess to answer your question, Trung, yeah, exactly what Jack said. Over time, it has, well, it's not, the stock hasn't been doing that great, right? So that's
No,
part
we're down
of,
50% since
yeah,
going
the
public.
brand generally has been getting watered down quite a bit. And a lot of people I know were in that phase of like, oh, do I still keep it or not? It doesn't have the same cachet that it did, say, like 5 to 10 years ago. And exactly what Jack said, like, and originally it was like this creative hub. People are actually doing like screenings and they're doing like stuff like that. And then after a while, it basically became like people that work in basically any industry, like creative adjacent. Like I worked at Google, which is not a creative necessary industry, and like half the people I worked with had membership. So it wasn't really keeping it real. That was 10 plus years ago. Right?
Let me hit you guys with two good takes from X, just to jump on Bilal's point here. The stock was down, Bilal. So we're at 200,000 members over 46 locations. Okay, so this is what Liquidity said. Popular finance social account Liquidity, legendary stuff there. Here's the PE plan for Soho House. Special dividends to the owners, flood the houses with a ton of new members, diluting the brand further, eventually shut down the members club, sell the real estate portfolio. Going to be nearly impossible to turn around the Soho brand right now. That sounds about right? Because if they...
and the real estate is sick.
Yeah, so
I was
there
just
you go.
pinging you this. Have you seen Soho Farmhouse? Have you been to that, Jack, in
I haven't
England?
been, but I heard great things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Trung, see the pictures of that one there.
That is sick, dude.
Just think of like as a hotel. I'll share my screen actually because that's a good example of. They do have some of these really beautiful properties, and everyone I know who's gone here has really enjoyed it. So you get the vibe. It's just a really beautifully set up place.
I got one good tweet for you guys. I want to ruin the vibe that Bilal just started. Bilal made a
The
very
opposite.
positive, and then here's the tweet. Why don't you read it out loud, Bilal? From Alina Nisanoff.
I can't read the second part. Okay, Soho House asking for help with rent at age 30, similar arc to many of its members. That is phenomenal. That is so good. Very, very good. Very good.
All right, we got 6 minutes, boys. Let's do this. Shark Ninja.
You want to do that in
you
6
own
minutes? Do it. Hit it.
I'll hit it.
Go
Do you
for it.
own a Shark product?
I think I do. I'm pretty sure my air fryer. Do they do air fryers? Yeah. Is that
Air
right?
fryer, bro. The Ninja air fryer.
I will say one of the best purchases I've made in the last 5 years.
Dude, this is
the hype was there, but it lived up to the hype.
No, Bilal, how hard have people been hyping up the air fryer all these years?
Yeah, it's because it's basically a little oven. It's not like it's really that different. It's just it's so much more convenient and quicker. So that's why I like it. Jack, you guys have the ice cream maker, yeah? Celia on that. Does she ever use it? Make some ice cream with it?
Yeah, she's big. I think when we first got it, it's more, but
how do you guys feel about this meme?
Go and
Jack,
try and read that one
out. Jack, read it out.
How am I going to read this? No one. How am I going to read this? It's the urinal meme.
It's the urinal
meme where the
meme,
guy's sat. He's like right at the end of the bathroom. The guy walks up to him. He's minding his own business. He stands right next to him and says, "Have you ever tried an air fryer? The absolute best way to reheat leftovers. Trust me, you got to get one."
Yeah, exactly. Trans love it is meme.
Like,
Trans
you know,
love
there's a meme about it.
That's
like
what it is.
there is this meme that always circulates about the air fryer, like is the greatest human invention of all time, right? Like people. I think the Zoomer generation particularly is like very fond of the air fryer.
Actually, Jack, just you mentioning that made a great point. The Zoomers with leftovers from DoorDash. This is the greatest reheating device ever.
Yeah.
But let me hit you guys quickly with Shark Ninja. So this is not investment advice. Shark Ninja is a public company, also of the 21-22 ilk. So it's doing
Should be in the top 10. Are you arguing?
Just snuck, they snuck a Soho House and Shark Ninja just snuck themselves into the public market. But here's the thing about Shark Ninja. It's a 16 billion market cap, 3x since going public. It did 6 billion in revenue annually. This is up 24 times since 2008. It did 250 mil. This thing is a juggernaut. It has 37 product categories, people. It started, I'll give a recommendation. It started as the mop. You guys ever have the steam mop? You guys probably remember the Shark steam mop. It's like a vacuum and steam mop company. But the CEO was basically like, his whole thing about consumer products is that it's so, as like Jack said with the Zoomers, it's very fad, right? It's very fad driven. Like things come in and out. So his whole point was in 2008 is like, I don't know how long people are going to be buying steam mops. So like, we need to find something else. So then their second product, this is when they launched the Ninja brand. So that was the Shark steam mop. The first Ninja product was the blender. You guys definitely had the Ninja blender with the blades at the top.
No, I've been NutriBullet.
You've been NutriBullet. Yeah, Bullet copied them though. They copied the blade at the top, bro. So the whole point was when you make slushy drinks, the ice gets caught at the bottom, so you reverse it. Anyways, the whole point is this. They've created an engine to basically, if you go to their YouTube channel and watch their videos, they're like an engineering firm. Like their whole thing is to like miniaturize, commercialize like cleaning equipment and kitchen equipment like an ice cream maker, right? And they do some crazy like behind the scenes stuff. But the crazy thing about them, and I'd highly recommend you guys listen to the interview with the CEO on the Decoder podcast with Nilay Patel. This is early in July. He basically explains how they do 37 product categories and they try to launch in 2 new categories a year. So the recent ones are they're doing the LED like beauty face masks and they're doing barbecue grills now. But like the whole problem with this model is that eventually you're going to run out of things you can do well, right? It's like, why are people buying beauty masks from the air fryer company, right? It's like, what, like the brand extension is out of control, but they a third of their company is product developers. So like they've gotten very good at it. And the last thing I'll add is they really have figured out the influencer channels. So they spend $700 million a year on influencers.
That's what I was going to say.
You know what else is cool though?
That's what's really.
You know what's unbelievable content is recipes.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes.
I feel like they did a collab with the good culture cottage cheese industry because that I see.
You see it
just
everywhere?
I bet if you see Google Trends, you put air fryer and you put cottage cheese. Like, I mean, I can do it in a second, but to me, that's been like the last 5 years. Also, it's the macro trend of like higher protein, people cooking slightly healthier, lower calorie. Exactly, a
types,
little bit
yeah.
of that. Exactly, yeah. So
Wait, Bilal, that is such a. I know you got a boogie now, but
no,
you
I
bring
can
such
look.
a great
No,
point.
sorry. I'm going to look while you're
That is,
talking. No.
it's so viral, that content, right? Because the way they spend that 700 million is they'll start with a celebrity like David Beckham, and then they'll seed it with micro influencers on Instagram and TikTok, and they influence. I think Bilal, to what your point is, people just start. It's such a good visual. Man, you air fry some
Oh,
fries,
man.
it looks amazing.
I'm looking
Right?
at the product page right now.
I'm curious. I'd be curious as to
Rotisserie
how
chicken.
rotisserie, right? I'd be curious as to how Celia found out about
Look
Shark
at this
Ninja.
real quick. While
It would have been it would have been like a protein ice cream recipe.
Oh,
And then,
yeah, exactly,
You
exactly.
can make
Bro.
it home.
I see that as well.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I mean, look at
it's
the
huge.
no,
Man,
the
they have
protein
so
ice
many
cream.
products. It's
That's what a lot of
mental.
it is. It's like people saying how you can make the same stuff outside at home. That's been the big. I mean, that's always been the case, but I think it's very TikTok native. You know what I mean?
They're getting
All
in
right.
that George Foreman.
Yeah,
thing
that's
now.
that's
And,
a great comparison. The '90s or early 2000 George Foreman version. Did
Trung, I
you
don't
have
think
one of
mentioned
those
this.
at uni?
Oh,
Yeah, hit it.
uni, yeah.
I would
we
hit
used
that
to do
chicken tikka, chicken breast. Do you know what I mean?
we used
that
to
was the move.
have the loser of certain games had to eat the fat tray out of the George
Oh
Foreman.
my god, that's disgusting.
No!
Yo, Rafa, there's your cold open right there, man. Jesus
Dude,
Christ,
I
what a way
would-
to finish the
Dude,
episode.
I would like it would just cleaning the fat tray was already punishment.
That was
Hey,
disgusting.
eat it,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh, that's
Okay.
disgusting.
Okay, hold on a
What a
second.
way
Let
to
me
Lose 5-0 or more on FIFA, you got to
Oh
take
my
a spoonful out of the
God.
fat tray.
let me hold on. Let me finish this up quickly. I know Bilal's got big, but a couple of other things they do, which is interesting, is they saturate product categories. So they'll go into a product category, like so they own 40% of the upright market, vacuum market. As an example, if you go on Amazon
mad,
and
isn't it?
you look at Shark vacuums, they'll have like 20 different products. So they just saturate the product. The guy, the CEO, I'm gonna butcher his name, but I think his name is Mark Barudis. He says that we're the only Mark Barakos. He says we're the only company where you'll find us in a Walmart and a Sephora. So he's basically saying that we cover the spectrum, but he's not saying that he's not saying that we're the lowest value. What he's like one step up from the cheap stuff is what he'll say at the bottom rung of the ladder, but then one step below the premium. They're covering basically the entire middle. So they saturate these markets. And Jack, to your point about the air fryer, do you have the Bilal actually? Do you have the portable one or do you have the desk one, the
Just
large one?
What? There's a
one?
portable air fryer. You
Dude,
take it
so
to
this
the
is
shop
what,
with you.
Dude, think about this.
On the
This is
walk.
what's crazy.
On the
He's
plane,
talking
Bilal.
about
Yeah,
this.
on the plane.
No, but seriously,
That's crazy.
this is the point he was making. He's like, we were hearing from our customers that the one on their kitchen counter was too big for them to bring to the office. I'm like, yeah, no
To
shit.
the office. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So
That's
they
crazy.
made one where they could air fry leftovers at the office. So you put it in glass containers, and you leave the freaking air fryer top thing.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of
at
offices
your
have
desk.
microwaves, to be fair. I feel like for an
No,
office
dude,
reheat, you
not-
can do the.
You're not reheat, man, dude.
I used to do that
Microwave-
back
Well,
in the day.
Did you? Another
Go on,
one, I
Jack.
don't think you mentioned this, Trung, is they're going after the coffee makers now.
Yes, they are.
That's a big
Man,
one.
I was going to say, where I'm right now, they just got this little barista espresso machine. It's incredible, man. I'm definitely tempted.
What Ninja does?
It's not a
does.
Ninja one. It's another brand, but I've been using it every day, and it's such an upgrade. Just to, it's a nice little thing to have in the
hit
house.
the fresh pour.
Woo! Yeah, very, very good.
I'm still on instant coffee, boys.
Yeah, me too. It's the fastest
That's
way,
the
dude.
barbell. Not the barbell. The man, my brain is absolutely fried right now. The midwit meme there,
midwit.
isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
midwit there. That is just go back. I love a good instant one. I'm either like, let's get proper espresso cappuccino, like, make it 5-step myself, or just give me the instant one. That will do the job. All right, but I do have to kick here. But that was a good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we'll see you guys next week. Cheers. Bye
All
bye.
right, dude.
All right, lads.
Amazing.
Nice one.
Peace.